Ah, consumerism. In today's market, you have more than ever the most choices of tons of small portable Bluetooth speakers, and it's getting really hard to tell which one is actually worth it. I have tried all of these, and we're gonna go through each one and then do a sound test at the end, and I'll talk about which ones I think provide you the best value, so you don't have to stress so much about shopping for them. This Marshall Willen 2 has the most battery power out of all the speakers here at 17 hours. What's really remarkable about it is it's just a well-made speaker. It's got all the buttons on top that are easily accessible and a microphone. You've also got this little joystick here that allows you to toggle back and forth between your songs, which is actually very intuitive and nice to use. I will say this strap with this middle portion cut away sort of feels like the weakest strap of all. You're gonna need a much thicker rod to put this around compared to the others I saw on my bicycle. If you are looking for the pinnacle of style, this is your speaker to go for. It's also expensive, so you should have more money for this. This Klipsch is named after my favorite city in the United States, Austin, Texas. This is the Klipsch Austin. It has 12 hours of battery life and pretty much every other feature you'd want on a speaker in this range. It's reasonably priced at $100. It's got a microphone, the buttons are nice on top, it's got a battery indicator, and it has a nice little strap so you can put it around whatever you want to attach it to. I would also say it's a bit louder than the Marshall Willen here, and it's also thicker, so I think it's just got a little more hardware in there. If you don't like the looks of it though, I could understand it. It's a little utilitarian looking. This is the Bose Micro 2. This is the oldest speaker here in my lineup, and that's because it still uses an old Bluetooth format and it uses USB micro connector, which is destined to fail. Bose, I anticipate, will eventually update this speaker, but this is still the only one they have in this category to provide to you guys. It's got the least battery power at 6 hours, though it can last a bit longer. The sound quality out of it is fairly balanced and nice and nuanced as you'd expect from a Bose device, but just for the price, these things still go for quite a bit compared to the competition, which can provide you, I think, a little bit better value nowadays. So if you are a Bose fanboy, this is fine. It is just not, it's just old. And I think it's time for Bose to give you a little bit more of an update and a little bit more horsepower in this speaker compared to the rest of the offerings. So I would say hold off on this one and look at the others if you are trying to decide. This beautiful little boy is the Soundcore Select 4 Go. I don't know why they named it Select 4 Go. That's such a strange and confusing name that I will never remember the order of if I'm trying to Google this speaker. But it is the cheapest speaker in our entire lineup. And even though it is cheaper at around 25 to 30 bucks, this thing sounds just as good as all of the other speakers. In fact, this is probably one of the best bangs for your buck in terms of the lineup. It's fully waterproof, it got good sound, it's got Bluetooth 5.3. I will say it's just the sound isn't as sophisticated or nuanced as some of the other speakers, but it's pretty dang good. Also, it comes in cool colors. It also has an LSU color one, which I wanted to get, but it's sold out everywhere, so go LSU. This cute little purple guy is the JBL Go 4. I absolutely love the look of this speaker. I think it's probably one of the more aesthetically pleasing speakers. However, at about 7 hours, it just doesn't have a lot of battery power. The volume, the sound is good, but it's nothing special for the price of around 50 bucks. It does have Auracast on it, so it can sync up to any of the other JBL speakers with the Auracast function. It wouldn't be worth just talking about the JBL Go 4 here without talking about the JBL Clip 5. The JBL Clip 5 is essentially the same price as the 4 here, but it's got 12 hours of battery life and a much bigger clip here to attach it to things. You also can just sit it down like this, and it has some nice feet marks on it. Honestly, I think that the Clip 5 sounds a little bit better, but it really just comes down to which form factor you prefer. And again, when I talk about Auracast, that means that you can simply just press the Auracast button on each of these things, and you can hook it up to any other device with Auracast, including the Extreme 4 here. Pretty amazing. JBL is definitely ahead of the game in terms of syncing their speakers together. Definitely the Toyota of speakers here. This is the Skullcandy Kilo. When I get this speaker, I kind of think I should be a rock climber or something. Maybe it's just because of the carabiner. The price range on this is really weird. It ranges from like 20 bucks for the colors that are less desirable, and then for the more desirable colors like the green one, it's like 50 bucks for it. I kind of feel like Skullcandy used to be more popular, but they haven't been as innovative as the other brands, and they're kind of falling behind. So I don't necessarily direct people towards Skullcandy. It tends to be maybe a little bit more of a fashion brand. One thing I will knock on this speaker, unlike any of the other speakers, this is the only one with like a solid rim of plastic around it. The others all have like a rubberized customized coating, I've already dropped it and it has some really gross little scuffs on it, killing the looks of it. The other thing is it's got a limited of 3 buttons here. This middle button has a multi-function option on it where it does different things depending on the amount of clicks. They got plenty of real estate. They could have just put some more buttons on here. Here's the thing with JBL. Like, they've got your 3 buttons here, but on the side, they have your power button, your Auracast button, and your Bluetooth button. It just feels like the Skullcandy kind of like cheaped out. Ah, the Sony XB100. Now, I love Sony because Sony makes really, really high quality products. The only things I don't really like about it is I feel like it doesn't really deliver in terms of the sound quality that it could or the volume. It's definitely the quietest speaker of the bunch. The sound is just kind of dark sounding, but I personally feel like the other speakers tend to sound better than this. I know Sony could do differently if they wanted to, but I think it's a thing about their sound engineers and how they work. They have a certain sound profile they prefer. This is also the only speaker with a giant loop on it, so you could just hang it on things randomly if you want to. I know my ex used to loop it around her belt so she could go vacuuming with it, which is a weird function. It's also kind of nice because it just gives you a lot of options. If you do want a little mini speaker that you can talk to for a voice call, this one does very well at that in moderately noisy environments. But yeah, this is the Sony. Ah, the Tribit Micro 2. This speaker blew me away when I first got it. When I thought of Tribit, I didn't usually think that they were like amazing speakers, but man, this thing, just the sound quality out of this thing will just blow you out of the water with the price, and the sound quality is just a really, really good value. What's nice about it is you have your buttons on the bottom with a battery indicator, and you have your main buttons on top here, your plus, minus, and multifunction button in the middle. The strap is also quite strong, so you can put it around your bicycle, or you can just put it like that on the ground, and it sounds phenomenal. The only thing I don't like about Tribit is that they're just kind of boring looking. I know they have made a bigger lineup now with more colors, but I can't wait to see them up their style a little bit. Build quality, I would put right up there with JBL though. It feels solid. The most fun and beautiful speaker of all, the Ultimate Ears Miniroll. For some reason, I think of food when I say Miniroll, like it's like a cinnamon roll or something, but it's not. Ultimate Ears brought us the Wonder Boom, which is a phenomenal speaker. Basically, if you were to just squish that down, you would get the Miniroll here. And this comes in multiple colors. This one specifically is meant to go on bikes or anything you can tie your little strap around to your heart's desire. This speaker puts out quite a bit of volume. The build quality is good, and I have a feeling the people who make these at Ultimate Ears are very passionate about sound because this thing has impressed me with the quality of the sound that comes out of it. I think it's a fair value. It also offers kind of a unique aesthetic that you can't get from the other brands. So this is the Miniroll. Yay!
She was in love with me, at least that's what I thought it was. I felt her on my skin, but when the movie ended, she just broke my heart. Did I mean nothing to you? Tell me, did I ever have a chance? Girl, just kiss me before you miss me. Said someday I'm gonna be a really big star. Taste the moment before it's done. Before you go and break my heart. You should know I'ma be a really big star. When it was over, I knew it just like that. Cause she stopped texting back. I cried like it's cool. She didn't come over, but I knew that someday I knew I'd be a really, 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 really big star. Way back before DM, she sent me AIMs with less than beats for hearts. Did I mean nothing to you? Tell me, did I ever have a chance? Yeah, I've been all alone and thinking way back to that 8th grade dance. Oh, that dance sucked. Girl, just kiss me before you miss me. Say someday I'm gonna be a really big star. Taste the moment before it's done. Before you go and break my heart. You should know I'ma be a really big star. When it was over, I knew.
was a good, wow, that one sounds amazing. Boy, those sound tests never get old. After listening to 20 minutes of that same song over and over again, I'm just enthusiastic. The best sounding speakers out of the bunch, truthfully, it's kind of a toss-up. It's between the Tribit Micro 2 and the Ultimate Ears Miniroll. They both sound phenomenal. I'd say like the Miniroll sounds like it gets a little bit louder, but in terms of like the sound quality, the 3D effect, these two were the ones that kind of like just gave me that like, whoa, when I listened to them. Like there's just another level of dimension that I heard from these compared to some of the others. The others are good too, but these two were probably the best sounding. And with the Tribit Micro 2 being a bit cheaper than the Miniroll, this might be still the best buy. As I have always said, this is one of the best sounding mini speakers you can get. In terms of the best, like just ludicrous value, the Soundcore Select 4 Go here at $25 for the quality of the sound that it has, this is definitely like a no-brainer. If you do not want to spend a lot on a speaker, this has, I would say, about 80% of the best set. Like there are other speakers that sounded better, but this was like 80% of the quality of those. So you're not losing a ton of sound quality, and it's just absurdly cheap. This thing punches way above its weight. I still prefer my primary speakers, but just for the price, this cannot be beat. The quietest speaker of the bunch is the Sony XB100. This is not an award. It's just, it just doesn't pump out as much volume as the other speakers. I will say, throughout all of those speakers, all of them provide a unique value to you, especially if you're judging things not just on sound quality or battery life, but also on how the brand makes you feel, how the speaker looks when you interact with it. Does it bring you joy? So I just want you to say, if there's a speaker that caught your eye here that you're thinking about getting, they all sound great. You won't be disappointed. I would still strongly advise you, just because of my opinion, it is still valid for you to go buy that speaker that draws you in, that speaks to you. I think that is a good way to go. And hey, if you listen to it and you don't like it, you can always just return it. Speaking of, there are affiliate links below this video. That is really the main way I make money and can afford to buy these speakers. I buy them all with my own money. And this whole YouTube thing that I do here is really just fueled by you, the viewer. So I thank you for being here and staying till the end of the video. I hope that this was helpful in figuring out what you kind of want to get there. And I have, made your decision easier. So if you made it to the end, you get a little decisiveness star for hopefully making a decision finally. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Woohoo! Good speakers.